Boom.
Aloha.
Aloha.
Welcome to Real Estate Makes Us Drink. Brian Quinlan here from Daniel's Real Estate.
Brad Nickham from Nest Mortgage Group.
Bro, our last recording was the 2nd day of December. Today is recording day on the 19th.
Yeah, this is like our Christmas episode. I have Christmas pictures up.
I got the old Christmas sweatshirt.
Oh, you do have
today.
the Grinch shirt.
That's right. But I feel like I haven't seen you in forever.
I feel like it's been at least 50 miles ago.
Because we're going to get into that. First, let's go with what are we drinking today, my friend?
Well, so I got the awesome opportunity yesterday to interview the owner of Arte Nam Tequila, Jake Lustwig. So I broke out all four of the Arte Nams, and I am sipping on the 1123 Blanco.
Cheers.
What about you?
Okay, hold on. That's kind of fruity. So this is,
Like your daughter?
the beer literally says regular domestic beer.
That's awesome.
And I found it at Jungle Gyms in Cincinnati simply because it is the Alexandria Brewing Company. And I often refer to my daughter Alex. Well, her full name is Alexandria. I'm walking around the beer section. Specifically, I was actually looking for a beer I was going to bring to Jake Query, but I couldn't find it. But I was talking to Alex on the phone while I was walking through there.
The Query beer wouldn't have been this cool.
Not really. But yeah, so I was on the phone with Alex when I came across this. I'm like, wait a minute, they have Alexandria beers. I was like, I have to buy this.
See?
And it's pretty good.
Is it sweet at all?
It is not.
Oh, because I was going to say she's sweet and fruity.
You know what? Fruity, okay. I almost pushed it towards kind of a sour beer, which I don't really care for, but I kind of get a sour hint. And sometimes Alex gets a little sour.
Does she get a little sour? I can see that. I think most daughters do.
Yeah, that happens.
It does, yeah. So what else did you do while I was gone?
Well, I've been, pushing stuff to my YouTube channel.
Oh, man.
Move Me to Indy over there on YouTube. Go check it out. A lot of good real estate info going on there. So that's what I've been doing, and my other social media.
Great reviews I watched.
Yeah. And I mean, the Jake Query 2-part series of interview. I mean, that interview in total was like an hour and 45 minutes.
Some nuggets.
Seriously, broke that up into 2 episodes. Both of them were 50 plus minutes. And hopefully you've had a chance to see those. If not, I highly recommend, because Jake had so much good information to share and just nuggets.
And if you don't have time to watch it, you can go to any of the 16 podcast channels that are out there. So like they say, wherever you get your podcast, check it out. They're all there in audio. And I think we're like 12 or 15 of our last episodes are now available on there too. So if you want to go back and re-listen to our phenomenalness, that's a way to do it.
And maybe you've been holding out because they weren't audio only. And
right
now you have that opportunity.
Now you can go listen.
But if you're here on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. When you hear some golden information that comes out of our mouths, it occasionally happens.
If you accidentally
hit that
mouth, have that in your mouth, that would be.
Hit that thumbs up button. And please share the episode with somebody that you think may benefit from hearing this.
Yeah, and definitly comment.
Yeah,
in fact, I'm going to say everybody that comments in this show gets a sticker.
Oh my! I ordered some Real Estate Makes Us Drink stickers. It looks awesome on my computer.
Yeah.
Looks awesome on my water bottle, and I'm a big fan. So, some people are getting these as part of their Christmas card from me.
If you get that as a tattoo on your arm, we'll give you $100.
Oh, $100. Maybe $100 from each of us.
Okay, that'd be $200.
Yes, it would.
I'm the math guy.
Yeah, you are. All right, bro. So while we were on our sabbatical for the last 2 weeks, you were in Hawaii.
I was in Hawaii, yeah.
And there was a purpose for you being there.
It was warm.
That's why. Just because it was warm.
No, my wife and I ran the Honolulu Marathon. I'm sporting some gear.
That is super cool.
Patch there.
I like the color of this thing, man.
Yeah, it makes me look like a highlighter. Matches your shoes.
I just so happen to have
the highlighter
my shoes on.
Look at that.
What a coincidence.
But see, this you could buy. So it's really not a big deal because anybody could go buy it.
Yeah.
But the key is...
So I could buy it even though I didn't run it?
Yeah, you could buy it just because you went to the shop and bought it. But what you wouldn't have...
Oh, you wouldn't finish your... Oh, what?
You wouldn't have a gold medal And I've wore this every day since.
Of course you have. Yeah.
So, you can keep that. Yeah. So we got a really cool gold medal. It's heavy too.
It seems as if. Oh, what a cool logo.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's awesome.
So 5 hours and 29 minutes, and 257th out of like 1,100 in my age group.
Very nice.
And out of 35, or I think there was 36,000 entrants, I think I finished around 6,000.
Okay.
Yeah. There's
Very nice.
And we did amazing planning for this.
Did we?
Yeah, we got to our condo or hotel thing we stayed at. The first time we did an Airbnb, and then we realized it's only 1.9 miles to the start line.
Okay.
So we walked that.
Yeah, well, that's kind of warm up.
Yeah, get us ready. Walk through all the people. Get excited, and then we take off on the run, and that was murder.
Did the run take you past your hotel?
Nope.
Okay, I didn't know if you could have just come out the front doors. Yeah,
not even near it.
We're good.
But it is a runner's high is a real thing, and the crowd is a real thing. Like everybody's holding up signs, like things like "I trained for this, but my arms are getting tired."
That's hilarious.
Don't trust that fart. That was one I seen a lot. Then there was near the end a person handing out beers, which
sweet.
I did see that. But Tony said,
what kind of beers were they?
They were light.
Were they Kona?
Miller Lite.
Oh, Miller Lite. Okay, sorry.
And then Tony said a guy close to her drank one and said, "That is the best beer I've ever had in my life."
I could see that.
21 miles in, and it was 80 plus degrees, right, and humid. She said there was also somebody handing out tequila. I did not see that.
Oh,
but I'm glad I did it.
That would have been your best friend.
But there was a guy holding out this big bowl of candy, and he'd let people grab candy out of it. And I looked at him. I said, if there were painkillers in there, I'd have grabbed a handful. He just started laughing.
What kind of candy was it?
I don't know. It wasn't painkillers.
All right.
So then we finished, which was awesome, and we kind of just chilled in the grass. There's that. Oh, perfect timing.
Yeah, it is.
Picture there. And then really excellent bad planning. It was a little over a mile and a half walk back to our Airbnb.
Yeah. After running 26.
And walking the other too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but it was good for us to, we could have Ubered amongst the other 35,000 people trying to get the 12 Ubers. So we, in the traffic of all the roads that were closed.
Right.
So it was crazy bad.
Super good.
But we hucked it back to the hotel and did what everybody does after a marathon.
Crashed.
Realized that we didn't bring any Advil or Icy Hot.
No.
Yeah. So after resting about an hour and letting my feet dry, I walked down to the market and bought a thing of Icy Hot, a big bottle of Advil, and an entire bottle of Lalo tequila.
Very nice.
And we watched Landman and went to sleep.
Well, great.
Next morning, walked 2 miles one way to the donut shop.
Oh,
so we felt great. Yeah, so it's awesome. If you've ever thought about doing a marathon, if it's ever been like...
I've thought about it, and then I realized I don't want to do that.
It's something to do. It's pretty amazing. It's a great paradigm for life, too, of how you got to keep going and how you work through all the highs and lows, and what seems like the hardest and the worst becomes the most rewarding.
So this was your first time running a marathon?
Yes.
I guess in relation to what you thought about it going in versus the actual experience of it, how different was that?
Thought it'd be boring.
Huh.
It wasn't. I didn't even put on my headphones until like mile 13.
Wow.
And that's because I was tired of hearing idiots talk. And then people make noises when they run, and the ones that have headphones on don't know. And then some people scoot their feet.
Oh, yeah.
And then some people are stompers. I don't know what I was. I could, there's somebody right now on a extremely popular podcast like ours complaining about me as a runner. But I finally was just like sick of that. So I put the headphones on.
I ran next to this guy. He just reeked of tequila.
Yeah, that I could have, because I didn't change my program at all. But at least I wasn't going like every.
As far as you know.
No, I wasn't. I didn't have headphones on. I wasn't. So I thought it would suck. I thought it'd be boring. It was actually really exciting the whole time. And the crowd and the people and then the group you're running with is really awesome. And then I thought it'd be hard. And it's weird to say that it really wasn't hard. It was once you got to a certain point, it hurt more to walk. Like I'd stop to get a water because I wanted to drink it. I didn't want to spill it all over. So I would walk, and it would hurt more to walk than it would to just run. So you got back to running right away.
And since you've returned, you have mentioned to me that you're considering training for another marathon.
I am.
Am considering or am doing it?
We haven't decided yet. It's up to my buddy Tyson Haynes, the singer from Nashville. You know Tyson.
Yeah, hi Tyson.
Tyson made the comment we should run the Nashville.
Oh man, does he run?
I think he's ran halves before.
Okay.
He's fit though. He's young too. He's young and fit.
All right.
It's harder when you're old and not fit.
That it is.
But so I told him okay, but I haven't heard back from him to say that he's going to run it. We'll pause for Tony's.
Yep, go for it.
Leave. Get out of here.
Hi Tony. Bye Tony. Aloha.
Love you, babe.
Dr. Julie hit me up for help with her social media.
Good, because
I said,
okay.
absolutely. I said, let's circle back here after the holidays and we'll get together.
I got to go pick up bottles from her.
From her?
Yeah. Andy Sparks is buying 2 Fortune Spools.
Oh.
Both of them autographed, and he's giving them as a gift to somebody.
Nice.
Yeah. So I will say this: I'm considering running if Tyson does.
Okay.
But my
Tyson challenge thrown out there.
The gauntlet is down. Is that how they say it?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay. But Tony, on the other hand, this was her second marathon. She ran this one 30 years ago, and she beat her 23-year-old self.
Sweet.
And was very excited. But she said, no more.
Interesting connection. My wife has run 2 half marathons. And after number 2, she's like, yeah, I'm not doing that anymore.
I'll tell you, this is running a half today. Hey, Steph, you should run more halves. Running a half today is not even like doing anything.
Huh? Okay.
Like a half, because I could go just run a half on the treadmill now.
Well,
I mean, we have a busy night. I'm not going to.
Yeah, multitask. Let's get the treadmill out here.
I trained to run, but I didn't train to hold this up. My God.
Well, you can take it off. It's okay.
I feel like a horse.
You can take that
like
off.
a Clydesdale.
All right. So, in addition to the marathon, another big event, gathering, interview took place out in Hawaii when you were out there. You went over to Maui.
I did, yeah. That was really cool. We went to the Waiakulu tequila or agave spirit distillery. I don't want people getting mad saying it's a tequila. It's made the same way. It's made with the same stuff, but it's not made in Mexico. So I got to interview the owner, Paul Turner, and get an awesome tour of their facility, and it was fantastic.
So I'm assuming you reached out to him.
I did. So we scheduled the tour and everything. And then the day before, I said, hey, I do some content creation for tequila and wanted to make sure it's okay if I shot some content while we were there, and took some videos and pictures, to post. And the lady's like, yeah, what's your page? And I told her, and I said, I do a lot of interviews with brand owners. And she's like, oh, would you like to interview Paul? And,
yes, I would.
And he's a real quiet guy. So he's like, I don't want to do this, But he did a fantastic job. He's very gracious, just an amazing guy, and just sold a business and bought some land in Maui and wanted to kind of farm, and figured out agave grows great there. And next thing you know, he's making a fantastic agave spirit. And they're up there behind Brian's giant blue head. There's each one of the ones that they had available. And I did a review on them on my page, and the interviews on Tasting Tequila.
I was going to say, after you're done watching this episode, go over to Tasting Tequila with Brad. Also, possibly check that out on Facebook. And I watched that interview.
Yeah, what'd you think?
I'll be fully forthright with you. I don't watch all of your episodes.
I didn't expect you to.
I watched that entire episode.
Really?
I found it fascinating.
Oh.
Yeah. And maybe one of the big differences for me being that he wasn't on video. Like, you were there next to him. You had the bottles on I was actually maybe waiting for the bottles to fall off the fence.
You were concerned? It was windy.
Yeah, it's always windy in Hawaii.
And I edited all the wind out.
Impressive.
And still had good vocals.
Yeah, for sure.
Crazy.
So it was a good story. And some of the stuff you didn't include in there, you said he sold a business, which we won't get into now, but the business he sold. Rather fascinating.
Oh, unbelievable.
Yeah, we should have him on our show.
We'd have to fly him from Maui, or we could fly to.
We don't have that in our budget. Either direction.
Either direction. No.
No,
That's right. Somebody said, well, is the tequila good? Is it worth picking up? And I was like, yeah, but the shipping sucks because you have to fly to Maui and put it in your own bag and bring it home because they don't ship it anywhere. It's only sold on the island of Maui.
Well, shucks.
So, yeah.
All right. So, marathon, Agave guy. You were gone for other days. What else did you do while in Hawaii?
Well, we ran every day before, just about every day before. We did the luau, and I worked a lot. I was up at 3 a.m.
Dude, I talked to him a few times while he was out there. He gets up at local time. So there's a 6-hour time difference between Indiana and Hawaii for those of you scoring at home. So, business time being 8 a.m., he's up at 2, 3 in the morning going.
Yeah, you're tired.
And it's not like you went to bed early.
No, we for my daughter's birthday, she's always wanted to eat at this place called the Sushi Show. You're not a sushi guy.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, I forget. You don't like anything that's good.
Raw fish is out.
So
I have a connection to that. That's funny.
The Sushi Show it's a chef. The chef is in front of you making the food for you, like
because it's a show.
Oh, it's a really cool show too. But
I bet it is.
What I didn't realize was we landed and then went there to eat at 8 o'clock Hawaii time.
So 2 a.m.
And we flew out of here at we got up at 3 to leave, at 5.
Yeah.
So that was like an hour and a half meal.
Yeah.
And then we got back to the room, and then I was up at 3.
Oh my goodness.
So the next day I was tired.
So you had a nap.
I didn't nap. I can't nap.
No. Any sleeping you did.
It wasn't that.
After that, that's just
it's just up from. So one of the first things we did when we landed, we found Red Bull, and we stocked the fridge with Red Bull.
Of course.
Red Bull keeps me alive.
There you go. Stephanie and I went to the Justin Timberlake concert on Monday. Fun show.
I have a question about it.
Okay. Well, while we were walking from our car to Gainbridge Fieldhouse, we passed by a sushi restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, Steph, do you ever get disappointed that I keep you from... I said, do you ever wish that I liked sushi?
Or the finer things in life?
She goes, no, it's just not you.
But she likes it, right?
Yeah, she's fine with it.
It becomes an acquired thing. You have to not get in your head about it and then realize some of the food is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, well, so speaking of acquired things, so I'm on week number 2 of an exercise program.
Okay.
That also includes eating more protein. Well, to get the amount of protein I'm supposed to be having,
legal exercise.
Amount of protein I'm supposed to have in a given day, one of the big sources of protein is yogurt. I've hated yogurt since I was a kid.
Nope.
And I started eating it, and I'm like,
Josh, you just gave me...
I guess it's all right.
No, you gave me the heebie-jeebies.
Yeah, I
can't eat yogurt.
I think since last week, Monday, I've had yogurt every day, sometimes multiple times a day.
If the doctor came to me today and said you have to go on a yogurt diet, I'm like, I'm saying goodbye to everyone.
Been a good run.
Love y'all.
All right, so Justin Timberlake
yes.
question?
Based on a lot of pictures I see, not just from you, but other people as well, could you have taken the entire crowd to that sushi restaurant?
Okay. The initial picture that I sent you, the tickets said the show started at 7:30.
Okay.
And we got there earlier than expected. Getting downtown didn't take as long as we thought it was going to, and finding parking worked out pretty well. So we were probably in the stadium by 7:10, something like that. So it was pretty empty.
Yeah. And a lot of friends posted pictures at that same time. I'm like, I think I know half the crowd.
Yeah, I was actually rather surprised at how late people got there. I heard some people around us talking that JT wasn't actually going to go on until 9 or 9:30.
So you blow up.
And I didn't see anything in the information about an opening act. So I kind of thought, well, he's going to start at 7:30. Stupid me. So they have, which is, it's not at all a new thing, but definitely a more popular thing, in my opinion, a DJ that plays for like an hour before the main person comes out. Cost effective, I'm sure.
Yeah.
You don't have a set you have to put up for this person. They're just playing music, and
he just brought a laptop.
For real. And Stephanie was like, you know what? I actually like that better, which I'm surprised she says that because she's not usually a huge fan of DJs. But sometimes you go to a show and there's an opening act you've never heard of.
Right.
It is a way to discover new music, yes, but sometimes you don't like the music that they want you to discover, and so you're sitting there for 30, 40 minutes listening to a band, be like, are they done yet?
Yeah.
As opposed to the DJ who played music I liked for an hour.
There you go.
So it was pretty cool. And
so it filled up.
That. It definitely did. Yeah, it was probably a sold out show, but there were empty seats.
He's such an amazing entertainer.
For real.
I'm not a fan of the music on its own, but I'm a fan of him, and
you can appreciate that.
And he's the one that made Chris Stapleton what he is.
Oh, very, yeah.
Yeah. Coming and playing at the CMAs with Chris, and he's next door neighbors with Chris. He lives in Nashville.
Oh, I didn't know.
Produces in Nashville. He makes his music in Nashville. So there's a little country in that boy.
Well, I like Justin Timberlake's music, but there truly are not a lot of his songs that I knew. He has a new album that came out this year. I've heard hardly any of it.
Oh, yeah, that one.
Exactly. I've heard none of it on the radio, so interesting. But anyway, so we're sitting there, and, there were times during the show where we were just like, song I don't know, people are singing along, I got nothing. But I knew going in, that dude puts on a show.
Sure.
And that was fun. One of his stage props behind the stage was a ginormous LED screen. Well, the center rectangle of this screen is a gigantic rectangular 3-dimensional box, top to bottom, that they lifted and moved it and spun it around.
Wow.
And it went over the crowd, and I'm just thinking, that is massive.
That's a drone.
And just think of the liability of that falling on JT and his dancers, the people in the front row, and then to end the show, like he does his last song, waves to the crowd, says thanks, Indy, whatever, and he leaves. Well, then he comes out for one more song where they lower the rectangle, and he is now standing on top of it. Now, he's got cords on.
Sure, he's not falling off.
But there was at one point, the thing came out over the crowd, and it dipped down, and he is on the very front of it. And I could tell he's got his feet locked in, and he's got his harness on, but I'm like, he's just looking over people. And Stephanie commented, all the people who are underneath that thing can't see anything that's going on.
Right, because it's a big block.
It's just gigantic LED screen over the head. I'm sure they could see on the screen in front of them or something, but, a bit of a bummer, I suppose, for those people.
At the end, did he say, bye, bye, bye?
He did not. He didn't even do that song.
That's too bad.
Yeah.
That was one I would know.
Yeah.
So should we talk about some real estate stuff, you think?
Well, here we are. This is, kind of our Christmas episode, which means we're near the end of the year.
We are.
And so I have a real estate story I want to share.
I want to hear it.
So this just happened to me yesterday. So this client...
So you're doing real estate right now?
I am.
Okay,
yeah.
Just check.
I actually different client, I put in an offer today. So real estate's really happening.
You're out there showing home. Do it.
It's right. So this gentleman wanted a condo in Avon, very specific condo community. But then he hit me up this week for a condo, not in that community, but still in Avon. I'm like, well, okay. So we went and looked at it on Monday. He liked it enough to the point where, he wanted to come back for a second look. And he asked for all sorts of every HOA document he could get his hands on. Very, very picky client. And so I know that going in because we've been together a few times. And so we go in, we look through the house, he looks through all the documents. We're talking about, okay, he says he has a doctor's appointment today and he was going to be in town, and so we can get together and put together an offer. I was like, okay, great.
Those are great days.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I'm like, this is fantastic. And the last question I think that he asked was about furniture that's in the condo. He's like, is there any chance, maybe you could just ask them if they'd be willing to sell some of their furniture or leave some behind?
Was it 70?
Whatever. No,
okay.
I mean, it was normal stuff, right? And I turned and I looked and I knew this was there. I looked over the fireplace and I saw a camera. And I said, absolutely, I can ask. I said, they may already know because they could be watching here on this camera right there. And they were like, oh, okay. And so we left. So he had asked me to ask the other agent a few questions, which I did. Text message, get the messages back, copy those, send them over to my client. And the one and only message I got from my client back after that was, there will not be any purchase agreement tendered. He says, that camera really pissed me off. The fact that they're watching me is an invasion of my privacy. That.
Oh, so your buyer said,
Yes, that is basically calling these people a scumbag. And he goes, that just pisses me off. And I read this to my wife and I was like, huh?
wow.
Yeah. Now, my client is an older gentleman, so he looks at all of that differently. Now, we knew going in there was a Ring doorbell.
Yeah, everybody.
So there's already cameras there, right? This one, not even hidden. It's above the fireplace, maybe not wide out in the open, but it's there, right? So I was like, oh my gosh.
Why would you think you had this implied right to privacy inside of somebody else's home?
I have no idea. I mean, the fact that he calls it an intrusion of his privacy, I'm like, you're in their house.
He was farting in their living room.
Absolutely. You know, you're opening their closets and looking at their stuff. You're sitting on their stool at the counter reading through documents. And they went out of their way to find these documents for this guy too.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm like, you got to be kidding me. So calm down. Took my dog to the groomer to get her nails trimmed. Thought about how I was going to approach this.
Got a petty pet.
Came back home and I called up my client and I said, I'm calling in regards to the message that you sent about the camera. And he just went on a rant. F-bombs this, F-bombs that. He goes, that camera is rented. He goes, you don't have a rented camera unless you're just spying on people. I said, well, they have a Ring doorbell. He goes, that's not even connected. You pay for that. This is rented. It says it right here in all the documents. And he goes, that's just a scumbag move. I wouldn't pay a quarter for that house. I'm done. I was like, okay. And he said, anything else? I go, I'm going to sever our relationship.
No doubt.
And he goes, okay, hangs up the phone. I was like, wow. So my managing broker, Sean, has a saying that he likes to say to our team is watch out for time bandits.
100%.
People who are just going to have you driving all over the place, answering questions all the time, but never actually going to get to a contract.
Right.
And I was relaying this, part to my wife tonight because it kind of continued today, but not with him, but with the other agent. I won't get into that. That's actually a good thing, but either way, I won't get into it. And I said to my wife, I really think I dodged a bullet on this one.
Yeah, that's a good feeling when you know that.
For real.
There's been many loans where you're like, okay, well, go over there, and then the realtor's like, oh my gosh. Okay, I kind of felt that.
Yeah.
We don't need them all.
No,
we don't need enough.
And, in a business where we don't get paid unless we get to closing with a client, it's hard to just give up on somebody and let them go their separate ways. But there are times where it's just necessary. It's best for you, just for your sanity, and it's probably best for them. And so, one less client for me to have to deal with. And you know what? I'm going to have a Merry Christmas.
Yes, we are. We're gonna skip this shot in the middle though.
Oh, okay.
Because I want to pour one of these.
Oh, that's okay.
And I know you don't want to try Arte Nam 1146.
How do I not want to try that?
I don't know. You're always telling me you're not a tequila.
Well, let's go. I'm Brian, your Indianapolis realtor. If you are looking to buy or sell a house in the Indy area, I'm your guy. If you're coming from out of state, want to make a move to the Indy area, I'm your guy. Check out the show notes for a link. We can get in touch and get you started. Thanks for watching. Now back to the show. All right. So tell me about what this is I'm about to consume.
This is amazing tequila. Arte Nam 1146.
I feel like you say that all the time.
It comes from Nam 1146, and the name is the Nam, right? And Enrique Fonseca is probably one of the best barreling tequila makers out there, and he understands how to utilize a French oak wine barrel and then rest a little bit in an American oak or a Canadian whiskey toasted barrel, so you still have the taste or smell of agave, but you get all the little barrel notes.
Is this one of the places you visited in tequila?
No, they didn't actually have. We found it, but they didn't actually have a tours when we were there. And I know where it is. I could take you to it.
Well, you're going back.
Yeah, we are, but we're already booked up.
All right.
Booked up the whole time. So, what do you think of it?
That's pretty good.
This would bring any whiskey drinker over.
I could see that.
Yeah.
Honestly, when I was sniffing it here, first sniff, of course, agave. Second one, I felt a little more whiskey-ish.
Yeah, you get
in the second.
the caramel, the vanilla, a little bit of butterscotch. It's
Thanks for describing those to me, because I couldn't have told you what it was I was smelling.
This is goofy, but I'm getting like, I'll taste one and I'll be like, oh, that tastes like celery. Like, I don't even know.
Wow.
This wheel, I use a flavor wheel that helps guide you through what some of the
flavor wheel.
It's not.
Oh, there it is.
It's not as fancy. It is not a flavor wheel, but it breaks down some of the flavors that are involved, and I don't know. The more you do it, and
it's warm.
Oh, that's the Jalisco hug.
Well, all right. It's warm.
So, do you have any other mortgage stuff? Because we had a Fed meeting yesterday.
Oh, we did. Before I get into mine, let's hit that.
It's all turds.
Turd.
So we lowered the Fed fund rate again, but of course we've seen inflation go up and unemployment stagnant, and there's a lot of people saying that the half that they did in September should have never been done.
Whoa.
And they did reduce from, we're going to have 5 cuts next year to 2.
Yes, I did see that.
So that's a big issue amongst people in the market. So
you want to pause?
Yeah, pause there for a second.
I'll make sure you didn't turn our sound off. I like how I could drink this Alexandria beer regularly.
Matt went over it with him already before sending it to him. So a lot of people think he shouldn't have cut when they did in September as big as they did. And
I feel like, looking back to September, it was almost like a lot of pressure on them at that point to do something.
So much pressure.
And, and now here we are 2 months later, 3 months later, and in retrospect, maybe it wasn't a great idea, but at the time, it really needed to be done.
Seemed like it, but it didn't give us any of the effect that we were looking for. Rates have gone up steadily ever since. And, now we got to watch and see what happens, economy wise.
Yeah.
We'll just have to wait and see.
I did an Instagram reel, either this week or last week, talking about watching out for rate predictions and headlines talking about the future of real estate. And I went back.
Everybody's keeping their mouth shut now.
Right? I went back to our Christmas or end of the year episode from last year just to see what we were talking about at the time. And while we didn't talk of specific numbers, there was talk at the end of last year that 2024 was going to be a good year for real estate because rates were going to be coming down, yada, yada, yada.
A lot said we'd be in the 5s.
For real.
Yeah.
And looking at the average interest rate by month for this year, the first time it actually lowered was August.
Yep. And then it went up ever since?
Yes. And I think the lowest we got to in the year was like 6.19. And
that was probably an 800 credit score, 40% down,
Yeah, sure.
But yeah.
And, obviously it was higher than that the rest of the year. And so the point of my Instagram reel was not to put a whole lot of stock in predictions that you're going to be hearing about. And don't let that make you wait to get into the house buying market, because there's no way to predict what's going to happen. So might as well, one of the things I focus on with people more than anything else isn't about the interest rate, because people can get paralyzed waiting for a particular number. It's about, based on the interest rate that is currently at, what would your payments be? Can you afford that? Then you should go buy a house.
Yeah, because, here's the thing. You can wait as long as you want, but home prices are going up.
Yep.
And you can wait on interest rates to come down, and, oh, great, they came down, to 5.5, but the house you liked at, 275 is now at 350.
Yeah.
So now your payment's even bigger. And nobody gets their house and goes, the best thing about this house, Brian? You know what I love about living here?
My interest
rate. They like to brag about it at parties, But most people are lying about the interest rate that they got anyway. Nobody ever says, "Do you see that car out there in the garage? Man, I got screwed over by that sales guy." Like everybody I've ever met got a phenomenal deal on the car. So, I think trying to put some weight in predicting where things are going to go. The only thing we know is home prices don't go backwards. They always go forwards. They always go up. And if you're waiting, you can wait. But guess what's going to happen when your lease is up? The damn good chance your rent's going to increase too. So,
yep. I saw, again, headline predictions, but there was a survey done of investment property owners that they're expected to nationally be raising rents by like 4 to 4.5% or something like that,
which is down from where it was. Rents were going up at a faster rate than what they are now.
But I didn't say they were going down next year, did they?
Nothing goes down.
Exactly.
I mean, that's the thing when we talk about a decrease in prices, right? We talk about inflation coming down. It came down from things going up 8% to things going up 2%. You won't hear them talk about deflation. That's when your groceries actually went down. They're not going to go down. None of us have ever gone out and bought a Coke for 25 cents again, and we're not going to.
Nope. In reference to, this is predictions from NAR, National Association of Realtors.
That came out today, didn't it?
NAR. This was in my email yesterday, so it was in the last couple of days. Median home prices are expected to increase by 2%. So goes to exactly what we're talking about. If you're waiting for the interest rates to drop to a magic number, if home prices wind up going up 2% or more, depends on where in the country you're living.
And they're saying 2% a year?
I think for the year, yeah.
Yeah, they're probably off.
It's probably low.
To 5%.
I mean, historically, home value increases by, I think it's 3.5% to 4% every year. So
3 to 5.
2% would be low, but who knows? What else we got? Home sales. Existing home sales are forecasted to hit 4.5 million units. That, unfortunately, is significantly lower than what we need based on population, based on people who are in the market to buy a house. We just don't have enough inventory, and 4.5% or 4.5 million is not enough. But it is what it is. It'd be higher than what we sold this year, so that would be good. Not going to get into mortgage rates. Inventory levels will see slow but steady improvement, supported by new construction projects and more homeowners listing as rates stabilize. So we've talked about on our show, there's a magic number above what some of these really low interest rates are right now that people have locked into, where people would loosen the reins, be willing to sell their house, and then go get in the market themselves. What is that number?
Sorry, say that again.
It's okay. So there's a magic number above a current interest rate that someone's locked into where they'd be willing to loosen the reins and potentially sell their house.
1.5.
There we go.
1.5 above their rate.
So essentially, for all the people who are at the, 4.5% interest rate on their house right now, if rates could get down to 6%, you're looking at people who may be willing to sell their house. People who are at a 5% interest rate now, if rates can hit 6.5%, we'd see more people selling their house. So that hopefully can improve inventory, but again, interest rate predictions are not particularly useful. Let's see, what else do we have? Oh, this was interesting. The top 10 housing markets to watch.
Is ours one of them?
This is based on NAR's analysis. So this is an NAR spotlight of the top 10 housing markets to watch nationally. And coming in at number 6 is the Indianapolis, Carmel, Anderson, Indiana area. And they describe it as a balanced mix of affordability, job growth, and migration trends keep Indy on the map.
It does, yep.
So I'm not sure I'd necessarily throw Anderson into that.
Anderson's on a rejuvenation.
Are they?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not that familiar with Anderson, so that's good to hear because they were on a significant decline for a while.
Can I make a cocky political comment?
You can.
It's because our state looks like a Budweiser can. It's all red.
Well, that worked.
So, yeah, so that's really helped. That's some great information. So, what else you got on there? He made show notes.
No, that was really it. I hit what I needed to hit there, and that's all I got.
We probably should wish everybody a Merry Christmas.
I think that's a great idea. And
Merry Christmas, everybody.
thanks for sticking with us. This is a full year of shows. The previous year.
Full year.
Well, no, but this was a full year. The previous year, we started in like July or whatever. So
True.
This right here is actually episode number 60.
I think we're going to make it. I think the Kelsey brothers,
We're on our
paycheck
way.
is on our way. We're going to have it soon. I really believe that.
I look forward to it. I will definitely cash those checks. All right. Well, again, hit that subscribe button, share the episode, leave us a comment, and thumbs up. Always appreciated. Merry Christmas to you all. Brad, bring it in.
Cheers.
Cheers to you, buddy. And
Good one, my friend.
cheers to you all.